Indiana Tech has grown, but again, we've not lost our focus on our mission to help these students. I think the faculty here are ones that we've selected when they've applied that we know are a good fit. We want to develop the student relationships. We want to get to know them and help them as best we can. Sometimes it's tough love, but we want them to get a good education and be able to go out and be successful.
The accounting program kind of has 3 levels. The first level is your introductory, and almost all business students and some of the engineering students will take those level courses. And right away, students will know if it clicks with them or not, usually. And then if they choose accounting as their major, they'll go into the intermediate courses, which will take what they learned in, like say, accounting 1010, financial accounting. They'll actually go in and start learning more in-depth.
The first year you go through like basic principles of accounting and managerial accounting, and those are classes that every business major has to take. So most of the accounting majors feel like those classes are pretty easy. When you start taking intermediate, that's the huge milestone. It's a very challenging class. And then advanced accounting, you really get the feel for a lot of the other areas in accounting. It's kind of like a catch-all class, so you really get to see everything that an accounting degree can do for you.
The faculty in the accounting program were great. Anytime you needed a question answered, they would answer it for you. Most times they'd give you their cell phone number and you can call them or text them day or night if you're working through a problem and you need something answered. They were extremely responsive.
Professor Hammond, Professor Brown, Professor Amstutz, from day one, they are invested in you. It's not just your education either. They want to know who you are as a person. They want to know what they can do to help you succeed, and they really want to teach you everything they can to be successful in accounting, but also just in life in general.
Everybody at Indiana Tech is always in a good mood. It seems like everybody's always smiling about something. They're always having fun in their classes. They're always telling you about this project they're doing. Having that positive vibe around you when you're at college, where it's a stressful place, you always have to worry about everything, your time management skills and everything. Having positive thoughts and positive vibes around you is probably the best thing that I've encountered at Indiana Tech.
Outside of the classroom, we have the student organization, the Society of Future Accountants, that all the accounting majors and minors join. It builds that sense of community further, but we also bring in different speakers through this organization, so students get to learn what it's like to be a financial accountant, what it's like to work, on the tax side, and so they can ask questions and hear kind of a day in a life kind of story.
Integrity and ethics are huge in our business. You have to have a certain high level, higher than standard level of integrity and ethics, because you're stepping in the shoes of either individual clients or corporations and acting on their behalf financially.
The most valuable thing about my time at Indiana Tech was, I think, networking with people. I got to meet a lot of great people before graduating, which led me to a great job.
I would say networking is huge. Definitely something that you want to get started on right away. It's not something to wait until senior year to do, because a lot of my connections that I made my freshman year.
We had a complete building renovation a couple of years ago, and so one of the classrooms that we built are what we refer to as collaborative laboratories, or collabs. And so I began teaching my intermediate accounting class in these collabs with the hopes that it would build a sense of community. The students sit around tables. We have lots of technology going on in the classroom. The students, because they're facing each other, they're free to ask questions. There's networking, there's collaboration. I've designed my classes so that they have to work together. So that's been such a cool experience for me to watch it be more successful in terms of building that sense of community than I had ever even anticipated. The Office of Student Success, they have the peer tutoring program, and they've started embedding those tutors in classrooms. So I have embedded tutors in my accounting classrooms, which has really proved to be successful for the students, because they might not want to out loud in class ask a question, but there's tutors milling around that they can ask those questions to.
The Career Center is amazingly helpful. They have these mock interviews where it's pretty much just a practice interview. You go up, you're dressed up, it's all formatted like a real interview. They offer it, I think, 3 times a year, and I make sure as a senior that I'm there the first day that the registration opens, so I can pick my slot and with the company that I want. Having that as an option to practice through the Career Center is just amazing.
There are a lot of career paths that a student with an accounting degree from Indiana Tech can pursue. There's financial accounting, managerial accounting, tax accounting. You can be an internal auditor, an external auditor, financial analyst. The types of careers that are out there are endless with an accounting degree.
I believe I was prepared very well for the workforce. The teachers here, they do a good job going back over concepts if you don't understand it. If you don't understand something, you can always, raise your hand, ask questions, and they're really good about getting to you and answering your question and still staying on track with their lessons.
My experience at Indiana Tech gave me the tools I need to be successful in my career, not only with what the teachers taught me, but via networking, via the Career Center and mock interviews and resume building and mock luncheons and everything. Throughout my time here, I got to network with a lot of people, and that's gotten me where I am today.
We've got graduates that are working in the Big Four firms. We've got graduates that are serving as CFOs around the community. I have a recent graduate who's an elected official serving as a financial officer in one of the Ohio communities. So our Indiana Tech grads are very successful.
We have the Becker Review attached to the program, so when they're done with the curriculum and they have all the requirements necessary to sit for the CPA exam, we then move them into the review course so that they can then start preparing to sit for the exam and become a professional, a CPA.
The last class here for the accounting is the Becker CPA, so instead of going and paying thousands of dollars for it, it's an actual class here. So I think that's a great benefit. You're actually going through the Becker review program with the professor, sitting down talking about the topics that are going to be on it and reviewing with it. So instead of you reviewing by yourself, you have a professor with you, so if you need help, you can always ask them.
When you see the light bulb go on in a student's eyes and they get it, because the material I teach is really difficult, and if I see that they get it, and that light bulb goes on, or they come and tell you, you know what, I figured it out, that's what made me think this is for me.